All right. I ain't got much to say. I just thought I'd play this. I got business to handle. We taking care of business, ain't? What's up, Daisy? Yeah, I'm about to play your shit. That was some good shit, Daisy. I'm just gonna play that and bees out. I got shit to do. You know what I mean? I feel it's disrespectful for one not to give you the rotation that you deserve. So let's let that play, man. I'm handling business, so I ain't got time for these fucking games. We about to slowly ease on down the road, if you know what I mean. So, Mike good? Mike good. All right, that's what's up. So, let's listen to this. Just got up, listen to it. I think this was a good ass video. So, it's worthy of playing. So, I'll catch y'all when I catch y'all. Peace.
Gang stalking and um, the people that do the gang stalking, the organized stalking and harassment program has what's known as perpetrators. It's no different than any other crime. It's the perpetrators, the people that go out and actually um, initiate and execute the stalking and the harassment. Now, behind the scenes, behind the curtains, behind the veil, you have those who are known as handlers, or those who are actually organizing the stalking and harassment, organizing the program. And these are the people that don't like to get their hands dirty, so they pawn off the dirty work or the grunt work for the gophers, meaning the people that go for this and go for that. You'll step and fetch for, a few measly gift cards, or, you know, some sort of monetary gain. But we're going to get right into that and talk about, the things that you gain in this world, or, what you do in this world and in this life, how it affects, you down the line. So basically, with gang stalkers, people that do, these perpetrators who do the stalking and harassment, these people are empty vessels. These people have a very limited thought process. They are easily controlled, they are easily manipulated, and they are easily enticed, by the small and the simple things. They could be called or considered simpletons, for lack of better words. But these are the people that don't, they don't themselves have an individual mindset. They don't have, an individual path, or individual goals and dreams and expectations from life. So therefore, they're easily manipulated and controlled into doing things for others rather than doing for themselves. And when I say doing things for others, it's not in a good sense, but it's, again, the gophers, those who do the grunt work and the dirty work, for those behind the scenes that like to keep their hands clean. They call it the white glove treatment, so to speak, in some societies. If we want to really go there, and these are the people that, they don't get their hands dirty. They won't, get their hands dirty in this process, but yet and still they'll be the brains, or the mindset that puts it all into order. So again, these people have a very limited thought process, and that's actually very dangerous. And as far as society goes, and as far as us all living in this world together, it's very dangerous for an individual that doesn't have, that has a very limited thought process, that doesn't expand outside of, how this affects everyone, how this affects the collective. And we're going to get right into that, because these people who do this, they live under the illusion, of some sort of power. It's a false sense. It's a false sense of power, because real power does not have to control. Real power just is. Real intelligence and real brilliance does not need to be conniving and sneaking. Real intelligence and real brilliance just is. It does, like they say, what's real doesn't need to be proven. It just is, and what is the fairness in that? What is the, I know some people out there might say life is not fair, but what is the fairness in that? With all due respect to yourself, if you're an individual that's out there, and you have to cheat in order to win, is it really a win? Like, if you really want to be logical about it, if you have to cheat to win, is it really a win? Can you put that up on your scorecard as victory? I would beg to differ. But when we think about it, when we think about, everything has a purpose in life. Whether it's been discovered or not yet, everything has a purpose in life. But with these individuals that perpetrate organized stalking and harassment, someone might ask, well, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of these people coming into your life and getting close to you if everything about you is already being exposed? If you've already been blacklisted and slandered and smeared, all your deepest, darkest secrets have already been put out there in the open for everybody to pick apart and scrutinize, then what is the purpose of these people coming around you and infiltrating your life? Well, that's just it. There is no point to these people. These people are pointless. These people are purposeless. The only real purpose, if we wanted to get down to it, the only purpose that they serve is to be, again, the gopher, the grunt person, the step and fetch for the higher ups, those supposedly in a position of power to pull strings and get people off of you know um, getting people out of their sticky situations from being held accountable for their actions of stalking and harassment. That's all these people are. It's basically the fall guy. um, so when you think about it, it's like, yeah, they really don't have a point or purpose other than to come around the targeted individual to irritate them, to annoy them, and attempt to destroy their life. Because again, placing a person under psychological and spiritual warfare, the only outcome for that and for that being done is to try to provoke a person into being deemed or considered mentally ill, to provoke a person into being seen, seemingly violent, with outbursts, psychotic outbursts, or, criminal outbursts. And then these people, they're able to dust their hands off, just, they haven't done a thing. It's like, oh my gosh, look at him or look at her. She's gone mad. And that's not the case. Again, this has been systematically and strategically set up to destroy an individual. And when you think about that, that has no real value, no real gain there, because the thing is, ultimately, this type of mindset and this type of behavior, these type of conniving and low down cheating and stuff like that is detrimental to society as a whole. It's detrimental to the world as we know it, because with the cheating that's going on of setting a person up to be the fall guy, setting a person up to have their life destroyed, things like that, it's that's the future. When you look at it, that's going to be the future. If it continues on this process and, this particular process of, secrecy and no one speaking up, everyone turning a blind eye, it's going to continue on that way, and it's only going to get worse. That is the future, because no one wants to speak up. No one wants to stand up and say, hey, that's not right. Hey, I think for myself, I don't want to participate in stalking and harassing someone, whether I know them or not. Just, people that are real stand-up characters. And when you have, so-called gang stalkers, when you have people that are stalkers and harassers, you don't have those stand-up characters. These people cannot possibly be stand-up characters, and they can't possibly have a life going for themselves if they're busy dipping and dabbling and manipulating someone else's life. I mean, how much of a life can you really have if you're 24/7, 365, hell bent on destroying someone else's life? You really can't be building your life if all your effort and energy goes into destroying someone else's. Now, can you? So ultimately that is, their only purpose or point is to be the fall guy for the one calling the shots, and, to irritate and destroy a target's life. Now, when you think about these type of people, some people might say they're like parasitic or they're like viruses. Well, the difference between like, parasite, something that, lives off of something else, even like if you think of a maggot, these people are lower than maggots, because even a maggot serves a great purpose. Maggots are used for breaking down, necrotic flesh and decomposing things, and turning that back into, fertilizer for the earth. And from that, things can, continue to grow. When you think about it like that, even bacteria, you think if you eat a yogurt or you eat some sort of product that has live cultures in it, What that does is take a bacteria and place it, it takes good bacteria and places it into your stomach to get rid of like the bad bacteria. It's actually beneficial. Even a bacteria can be beneficial, but these particular people are more like a cancer, and they are the cancer to society. And I will explain that like this. When you think about it, cancer cells, there is not one single cancer cell that is good. Every single cell in your body, that is a good cell, divides and it multiplies in your body. When you think about cancer cells, but cancer is the type of cells that they divide and they multiply and spread rapidly throughout the body. And even when you're trying to treat cancer, whether that be with nuclear medicine, chemotherapy, radiation, whatever it may be, these cancer cells will try to tuck and hide behind things to keep from being eradicated, but yet and still at the same process, they're destroying the vessel, the body in which they are in. So it's like ultimately, once these cells divide and they spread to other, organs and other parts of the body, ultimately that person, if it's not treated and it cannot be treated, the cancer will kill that vessel. So with the dying vessel, the cancer is also going to die. It's not even like, the cancer, goes on and moves on to another person or something else. It's so stupid that it goes ahead. These cells divide and they kill the actual vessel that they're living in. So again, these people are a lot like cancer, because this world, with the mindset that it's in, this narcissistic mindset that it's in, human beings are going to be the ultimate destruction of this world and this life as we know it. It is already on that path. That's exactly how these people are, these gang stalkers, organized stalkers and harassers. The program itself is a cancer to society because it is killing people. It is killing life as we know it. And when we look at that, when we look at life, life is temporary. This life that we live right now. Let me see if I can reword that. The life that we live right now, the living part of it is temporary, but life itself is not. Life goes on for eternity. But the thing is, right now, what we are doing is we are living. We are the human being. We're having that particular experience. And there's an opposite to everything. So when you look at, the world, there's not one single thing, in creation that you can find that does not have its opposite. Opposite is what creates the balance. If you didn't have the left side of your body, the right side would tip over because you need it for that balance. So you have left, right, up, down, in, out, male, female, life, and death. So if life, this one that we're living right now, is temporary, then death must be eternal. That is what creates the balance. So everything that these people are doing right now, this false sense of power, being corrupt, evil, and destroying life as we know it, and being gratified in doing so. That's the difference in having a wrongdoing or doing a wrongdoing and turning from your ways. That's the difference between, doing evil, destroying life, and being gratified in doing so. There's a difference in that. Right now, this temporary life, you have the opportunity to correct yourself. You have the opportunity to turn from your evil and dark ways. But if you don't, and you continue to be gratified in, being corrupt and being evil, you have all of eternity. You'll die that way, and you have all of eternity to live that way. The thing is, it's like it's going to go on forever. But again, it's that false sense of power, because like right now in this temporary life, you might have that false sense of power to be able to, pull strings, behind the scenes and get you out of trouble, or, somebody pisses you off and you have connections, people in, positions of power that you can, at a snap of a finger, make a phone call and have someone, have their life destroyed, and have, generations after them have their, offspring and their children and, family members and stuff, life destroyed. That's only temporary. But when it comes to eternal, once you die, you're going to die with that false sense of power. But the thing is, the key to that is you won't be able to pull yourself out. You won't be able to pull yourself out of that eternal death, out of that eternal misery, out of that, you're going to die with that illusion. You're going to live eternally with an illusion, whereas those people that you put through hell temporarily, they're going to have everlasting, an everlasting death of literally resting in peace. When you think about that, have you ever noticed that when people die, or loved ones die, even if it's somebody that you don't know, maybe say like a celebrity dies and people, make a post or a comment about this particular person that dies, people always say rest in peace or rest in paradise, rest in heaven, whatever the acronym that they use. It's a sense of peace, paradise. It's the opposite of what this is. One could say that, we're living in hell right now. Hell is on earth. When we refer to heaven, we always, refer up. Heaven's up, hell is down. This is hell on earth. But beyond that is, death and hell eternally. Based on how you lived and how you died. It's not a matter of, how you live. It's about a matter of how you die. When you died, were you truly, at peace? Did you, truly make make an effort to turn from, evil and to be the opposite of that? Or were you so consumed with, the power and the greed of this temporary life that now you're going to be living in that false sense of power and, really see where your greed gets you. Like in some cultures, there's some cultures, and I believe I have to, don't quote me on it. I'll have to, look that up. But there are some cultures that actually mourn a birth, people that cry at a birth and celebrate a death. A lot of people, nowadays have gotten away from, especially like in the Black community, have gotten away from like, the funeral where people are like, mourning and crying and boohooing. The difference is they call it a homegoing, celebration. You're going home. And you're celebrating that about your loved one, because their suffering, is over. Even like the Bible says, when, in Revelations, when that time comes, like death will be no more, no mourning, no outcries, no sickness, every tear will be wiped away from that. That means like, for certain individuals, the temporary life of suffering is over. And now they have a eternal death of resting in peace. And, you could say, life after death, if that's how you want to put it, but living in peace, away from, the torment. They will be separated, because right now we're all collectively together. We have to share this realm and share this earth and share this world with the darkness, with the evildoers. We temporarily, eternally, we're going to be the opposite of that. We're going to be separated from those who, wish to do evil. It's like anyone, any human being. Again, you were born with a choice. You have the choice. That is what determines the outcome of the future. It's not the past. Your past determines what's going on in your life right now. Your future is going to be determined by, what you do right now and how you are at that point in time of death. You feel me? So it's like when you think about it, if you're selling your soul out right now in order to gain all this false sense of power and these false, this false sense of control in this world, you have to sacrifice your own soul. And when you're in the process of trying to sacrifice, other living beings, without their consent, for your own gain, there's a high price for that. You will never get your soul back. You will never get that back in this particular life. You're not going to get this back. This is such a short time. And that's one thing about death. And I'm going to close on this note. That's one thing about death, is it's guaranteed for everyone. So even if I were to die right now at this moment, posting this video, or I die tomorrow, or I go to sleep tonight and die, guess what? Death is coming for you as well. And everything you do in order for life to balance itself out comes back to you. It comes back around full circle and with a vengeance. The thing is, when it's spinning, it gets that momentum. And the fall is so much more quicker, and it's so much more easier to do. The fall is so much more easier to do. It's the climb, the coming up part, that is the challenge and takes the most energy. So the thing is, when you try to bring someone down, you're actually pulling yourself down as well. And the thing is, it takes less. It takes less energy. So the person who's climbing up, the person who's trying to do better, the person who's trying to do good in life, to come up and do the right thing, to rise above it all, that person is more powerful, and that person has more of a positive energy and a powerful energy than any darkness could ever have. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this video out, and I will, see you on the next one. But that is definitely something to ponder on and to think on.